Hello everyone, welcome to session 8 of the subject Procurement and Contract Law. In this session, we will be discussing on B2B e-commerce. What do you mean by B2B? It's business to business. So, in this session, we will be going into detail how organizations buy and sell their products or services through private e-markets. Now, let us understand what will be the learning objectives of this session. We will be learning about the B2B field. Also, we will understand what are the major types of B2B models which are practiced today in the marketplace. Also, we will be discussing the characteristics of the sell-side marketplace, including auctions. Also, we will be explaining what the sell-side intermediary models are. Furthermore, we will be discussing on the characteristics of the buy-side marketplace and e-procurement. And as the last point, we will learn how reverse auctions work in B2B marketplace. Every organization who are in a business will be either selling their products or services to an individual who could be a customer or consumer, or that organization could be selling their products or services to another organization. So an organization doing a business directly with another organization is termed business to business. And when that transaction is happened electronically, then it's called B2B EC, meaning business to business e-commerce. In today's business world, we see a lot of transactions between organizations are happening through electronical form. It could be either through internet, or it could be either through extranets, or it could be even intranets, or even private networks. If you look at these transactions which are happened through electronically, it has gone through a drastic change over the last few years. If we run into our history and see how the first generation was working on these transactions, it will be just publishing something on website and promoting it. It's a very simple transaction. Then, during the second generation, the online ordering came into the picture. There were B2B auctions as well. When it moved to the third generation, things like e-government, e-marketplaces where you can exchange items, these came into the picture. And when it moved into a fourth generation, it was all about mobile commerce, e-learning, e-CRM, so on and so forth. But from the fifth generation onwards, this path has changed drastically. We all know how technology has developed in today's business world. And most of the countries who are really advanced in their respective technology are using this as a path to do business between organizations. For the ones who are not familiar with the difference between internet and extranet, I will try to explain. So internet is something which is open to the public. The day-to-day transactions sometimes you all do, eBay, Amazon, all these are through internet. What do you mean by extranet? So extranet is something that a website which is open between a client and the respective suppliers. So the transactions which are happening between these two organizations will be through an extranet. So in summary, what we need to understand is the traditional B2B transactions have now evolved and been processed through electronically through several paths, and that electronical transactions have evolved from first generation to fifth generation. I will be surprised to see that there will be more advance in the technology and we will be using more parts in the future electronically. In this slide, we will be learning about the 4 basic types of B2B transactions and activities that is being practiced in today's business world. The first type would be a sell side, meaning one-to-many. If you look into the picture A, you will see there will be one seller and more buyers who are interested to buy this particular seller's product. In this situation, the seller might be having a more demanding power because there is more demand for this product from the marketplace. The second type would be a buy side, meaning many to one. If you look into the picture B, you will see there will be only one buyer in this instance, but there will be so many sellers. In both types, meaning sell side and buy side, the tool called auction is being frequently used in today's business world. The third type would be the electronic exchange. If you see the picture C, you will see in this situation there will be so many sellers as well as so many buyers, and there would be an intermediary service who will introduce the buyers to the seller and vice versa, and this intermediary will provide a service in order to exchange certain materials, services, and even information. The last type is called supply chain improvements and collaborative commerce, a somewhat complicated system. In this platform, you will find buyers, sellers, sometimes the government, shippers, and so many stakeholders, sometimes including individuals who are doing transactions. And it will be an end-to-end platform where even the payments are done through the same platform. So these are the 4 basic types of B2B e-commerce transactions and activities that are used or practiced in today's marketplace. Now, let us try to understand some characteristics of each of these business types. So I'm taking the sell side and the buy side together to have a better understanding. So it is called one-to-many and many-to-one private e-marketplaces. Mostly in these types of e-markets, it will be a company-centric electronic service, meaning an organization selling something through their company-centric website to the respective buyers or vice versa. So it's a company-centric electronic method. And this particular e-commerce will focus on a single company's buying needs. So it will not be a public one, a private e-marketplace. So in this market, the individuals or the organizations, I would say, they will sell side or buy side and do the complete transaction through the website, and they will have the control over this website and participation. For an example, if you want to buy something from a particular organization and that particular product is advertised or sold through their website, you can access that website and buy it directly from them. So that is what you mean by one-to-many and many-to-one in a private e-marketplace. But if you move into the second type, which is many-to-many, in the previous slide, it was the third example where it will be a public e-marketplace. In this situation, there will be so many exchanges happening, trading committees and trading exchanges. So there will be a set of suppliers and a set of buyers, and this platform will introduce them to each other. For an example, if you are buying something from eBay, eBay is a classic example of many-to-many because there will be other organizations who come and promote and sell their products, and there could be other buyers who could go into the particular website of eBay and purchase something. The control over the website will be handled by the platform owner, I would say. Then the last type which we discussed was supply chain activities and collaborative commerce. So it will be B2B and B2C, where every buyer, seller, government, individual, everyone will get involved. And it will also be a public platform. Now that we have understood the characteristics of a B2B market in the previous slide, it's very clear that in any B2B transaction, there will be three main parties who will be involved. And they are sellers, buyers, and the intermediaries. The online intermediary is an online third party that brokers a transaction online between a buyer and a seller. So, if you recall the previous slide, if you take sell side or buy side, it will be the seller and the buyer only. But if you look into the last two types, which is the exchange and the collaborative type, an online intermediary will be involved. Now, moving on, if you just summarize the types of transactions that are happened through this B2B marketplace, there are two types of transactions. The first transaction would be spot buying, meaning purchasing of goods or services as they are needed, usually at the market price. So for an example, if someone wants to buy something and directly from an organization's website, that person can log into the website and directly order something which they want to buy. So that will be either many to buy, I would say one to many or many to one. Another example would be if they do not know a certain website to access, they can check into a public website, a public platform like eBay, and then they will understand what are the products that will cater their needs. And based on the market price, they can place the order. So those are called spot buying. The other transaction type would be strategic sourcing. So mostly organizations are involved in these types of transactions, where the purchasers will involve a long-term contract and usually based on private negotiations between sellers and buyers. As we move on, there are three main types of materials that are traded on the B2B platform. The first one are direct materials, meaning materials used in the production of a product. Example, steel in a car or could be even paper in a book. The next material would be indirect materials. Materials used to support production. Example, office supplies, light bulbs, etc. So something which is indirectly supporting the main production. Then the last type would be MRO, maintenance, repair and operation, meaning indirect materials used in activities that support production. So any machinery in order to maintain, any repair, those kind of stuff will be listed down under MRO. As we move on, and as the next item, let's discuss some types of marketplaces which we see in the B2B platform. There are two types of marketplaces. The first one is the vertical marketplace, meaning markets that deal with one industry or a specific industry segment. Example, steel or sometimes even chemicals. Because these products are unique for certain industries and therefore it will be traded in a vertical marketplace. The other type would be the horizontal marketplace, meaning markets that concentrate on a specific service or a product or a material that is used in all types of industries. Example, office supplies, PCs, laptops. Because if you see laptops as an example, laptops can be purchased irrespective of any industry. Both these marketplaces are being practiced or being used in the current B2B e-platform. As we move on, the next highlight would be the virtual service industries that we see in today's B2B market segment. We have seen so many industries, especially services, that have emerged and using these B2B EC platforms very effectively. And some of the examples would be travel and hospitality services, real estate, financial services, online stock trading, online financing, and many other online services. Just think about the last time you booked a hotel by going into a hotel premise. It could have been a very long time. Because as an example, a simple example, today if you want to travel somewhere and if you want to book a hotel, you would be using websites such as Agoda, Booking.com, and all these are exchange platforms. That's how the B2B platform has impacted organizations as well as individuals in their transactions. Now, after discussing all these factors, there are a few limitations also in the B2B market that I just want to highlight. The first one would be channel conflict. Now, an organization who has a physical sales team in the marketplace and who would have a B2B EC platform, there would be so much of conflict between those two channels. That is something that organization should take into consideration. And also the next point would be operation of public exchanges. Because if you are doing some transactions through public exchanges, there are some rules and regulations that people will have to follow. And that would be a limitation sometimes. Now that we have discussed about the environment of the B2B EC platform market, now Let us discuss the benefits that we'll have from the B2B marketplace. The first one would be it will definitely create new sales or purchase opportunities. It will eliminate paper-based transactions and will definitely reduce administrative cost. It will expedite the processing and it will reduce cycle time. Because we all know in today's business world, bringing down a processing cycle time would be a competitive advantage. It lowers the search cost, meaning research, and time for buyers to find products and vendors easily. It increases productivity of employees dealing with buying and selling. It will definitely reduce errors and improves quality of service. Reduces marketing and sales cost for sellers. As we all know, every organization who are into selling something will have a huge marketing and sales budget every year. So by doing business through the B2B platform, that budget could be reduced. It will definitely reduce inventory levels and cost in your warehouse. It enables customized online catalogs with different prices for different customers, meaning convenient to the customer. It increases production flexibility and permitting just-in-time delivery. It definitely reduces procurement cost for the buyers. And very important, it facilitates customization via configuration. Example, Cisco. The organization Cisco, who is doing business on a B2B platform, they facilitate customization via configuration. It will also provide an efficient customer service, and most importantly, it will increase opportunities for collaboration.